Hello viewers, today we're going to take a look at another telephone that was donated by the H, or the letter H, from the internet land. And this is obnoxious enough to be considered a tape freak show. I was going to open this before I put the video on, but then I was struggling tremendously to get it open, so I figured I would show the excess of tape on video. One of the problems with the excess of tape is that this bubble wrap tends to be unable to be reused because it ends up just getting ruined trying to get the tape off of it. Okay, there's the handset. And here's the base. Okay, this is the Uniden 2.4 GHz analog, or the Uniden cordless to telephone. This is the model, the E, the X, the P, the 4, the 2, the 4, the 1. And unfortunately, it was in fact made in China. And it has a ring equivalence of 0, which I don't quite understand that. Usually it's 0.1. It takes in the DC, the 9 volts, and the center of the adapter is the positive terminal. And there's the line cord adapter. The base is natively wall mountable. And this is in quite good condition. It's generally pretty clean and not a whole lot of wear on the unit. The antenna is still intact. It's kind of loose, it could be breaking any soon. The base as well is in pretty good condition. A little bit of dirt at the bottom, but nothing major. I gotta grab the box of batteries, which of course is all the way at the bottom of the pile of boxes. And let's see, I believe this is going to take a BT905. Yep, it's going to take a BT905, which is a 3AA cell, which is one of my favorite batteries to have used in cordless telephones. Holds a good charge and it seems to last a long time. And it's very easy to rebuild if you ever needed to. Slip that in there. It does have the sticky foam, but the battery already has sticky foam residue on it, so whatever. Okay, now we'll plug in the AC adapter. Plug in the power bar as well, because otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, the base is powered up. Get the data line in there. And it does appear to be the charging. I just saw the security code reset. Appears to be the broken. Huh. I wonder if the battery is out of charge. I didn't think that it was. Let's try another one. This is not the correct size, but it's a star. That's not very hopeful. Huh. I guess the battery is out of charge. I'll have to charge that up. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll charge it up after the video. So I'll do the video with this Star battery, as if that's really going to last. What a terrible brand of batteries. Okay, so it is working now. Seems to sound okay. This, of course, was an economy model. It feels very cheap and flimsy. Actually, it's not that flimsy. The battery cover a little bit creaky, but the rest of the handset isn't too bad. The antennas did tend to break on these. They're made of like a rubbery material, and it's a little bit sticky over time. It just deteriorates. I find the stickiness gets worse after you clean it, which is odd because I cleaned it with a bunch of different things, including just plain water, and it still ends up becoming sticky. So, I believe this only has 2 rings to it. That's the only one that's really audible, although it is rather unpleasant. Let's go ahead and call this thing up. We do have the flashing indicator lights on both the handset and the base. And we have auto talk, which seemed to connect just fine. Turn this amplifier on. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. It does appear as though it's working. Alright, let's go over to the mains and we'll make an outside call. All the buttons appear to be working just fine.
Hello, Farmer Jones here with the crop line update for the week of November 15th. And wow, the trees look
Wow, look at those
luscious.
trees.
Harvest your own fresh cut trees, the winery and holiday courtyard open.
Every day except Thanksgiving through Christmas Eve. We've worked long hours this growing season and have an abundant crop of beautiful trees.
Hey, that sounds pretty good. I have noticed that these, even the cheapest of the cheap Uniden phones in both the 2.4 and the 5.8 GHz era, they both had really good sound quality. That's certainly one consistency with Uniden that we didn't necessarily see in other brands. For example, VTech and AT&T, the sound quality seems to vary pretty significantly per model, whereas Uniden almost always sounded really good. Okay, so now I will call the testing answering machine and I will record a message.
1 new message and 11 old messages. The memory is full. Please erase your messages. Message 1.
This is the testing message on the Uniden EXP4241 2.4 GHz Uniden telephone. And I'm already hearing a bit of static. There is a 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi transmitter above this testing bench, so we are almost guaranteed to get a plethora of interference. I am departing the studio now, and I will walk across the room. I believe this is a 2.4 over 900 megahertz model, so you'll probably hear a lot of static on the 900 megahertz end, as the antennas didn't seem to be designed quite right on these as far as that's concerned. And then I'm hearing a ton of very rapid kind of clicking sounds on the 2.4 gigahertz side, which I'll change the channel, but I don't think any amount of channel changing is going to fix it. No, I'm still hearing it on this channel as well. It's too bad that these didn't have a good range, because that's really the only flaw that I'm aware of in these 2.4 gigahertz economy models. Despite being a cheaper product, they were very reliable. They lasted a long time. The sound quality was really great if you were within range of the telephone. But if you were not within a close proximity of the base, the reception just wasn't good, and that was a very common complaint with these things. And I think that was somewhat tragic, because a lot of people buy economy products, and at the time you had the Uniden economy models, which really kind of stunk, and then you had other economy models from brands like AT&T and VTech, which their economy models were usually acceptable, and they still tend to be to this day. So I think that's one of the problems that Uniden had over the years, and it gave them a bad reputation, because not everybody wanted to dish out the hundreds of hours that the higher-end True Series cost. It really wasn't until the Deck 6 era, when Uniden finally got their economy models correct with the Deck 6 1580 telephone, which was an excellent telephone, one of my most used models. Really great set. Anyway, so that will conclude the staticky testing message on this Uniden 2.4 gigahertz telephone.
End of messages.
Okay, that sounded much better than I was expecting it to sound. The reception on the transmit side was really quite good. I didn't really hear much of any static until I was all the way on the other side of the room, and even then there wasn't much static to be heard. The whole time I was hearing a very annoying, kind of a clicking, like very rapid clicking sound on the incoming audio, which is interference in the 2.4 end. Typical problem with these telephones. But anyways, not bad. Not bad at all. Especially for what this cost. These would have been dirt cheap at the time. And yet, if you had a clean environment, they worked fine.